In Philippians 4:6-7, it say, do not be anxious about anything. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ. So don't be worried. So I go by that. I don't worry about what folk gotta say about Joe, or excuse me, or what people say I ain't doing or nothing like that. I put it in God's hands and I'm a vessel. Oh, hey there, y'all. Welcome to the Joe Show podcast. We don't do that every episode. Hey there, we live. It's 11:36 at night. They call this the ungodly hour. But we are vessels of the Lord up at what the man called the ungodly hour, because we know he is up every night, every morning. It don't matter what time it is. We know the Lord is watching. We know the Lord got something to say about our action, whether good or bad. But we up early this morning. I am the commissioner of XTV. Yes, Joe, I'm so proud of you. You know how proud of you I was, because we was there together. Remember on the West Side Live, we were there together, and they told us backstage, Joe, we want to be commissioner. Jim Cornette didn't work out for whatever reason, some silly reason, and I say, okay, why y'all telling us? And they say, because we want you to be Commissioner Joe. I lost it. I screaming like, yeah, Joe. They got a real commissioner. And Joe, you finna set something off. I sure am. I said it before. My entire goal is to get rid of the negativity, because we don't need it. It's just unwanted. Excuse me, sorry. It is unwanted, and it doesn't serve any purpose but negativity, and I refuse to allow that to control XTV. And that's just my first decision. All right, I have a lot more going on. What you thinking about this Miami Beatdown pay-per-view, Joe? I feel very positive about it. This is, and again, this is something under Corey Jordan's regime. Folk like to say Corey made only one decision, but obviously this is more than one. So, I think that this is a very important decision, and I'm looking forward to where else this goes. Definitely, I'm looking forward to this event. It's a lot of work going on. Today, as a matter of fact, at 9:00 this morning, we have to try to finish up the American government classes. The West, Tony B has to finish all of them. And it's a lot of studying and a lot of words that folk come from where we come from, we don't know. They got all kind of things. And, one of the things they brought to my attention. I say, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't no American governor, so I don't care about no American government. They showing me Federalists. I don't know what no Federalist is. They asked me, why did the Federalists disagree with the Federalists? I say, I don't know. Both of them. I disagree with their explanation of what they are. So I don't fool with it. I don't fool with it at all. But that's just where I sit on my throne of being alone. Joe, you is so silly. Oh, you tickle me, boy, I swear. Oof. And also, I was supposed to make an announcement. Darn. Don't remember. But I have a special guest this evening. This is a person that was in XTV. Excuse me for the cough. He was in XTV in 2005, and he was a police officer. He befriended Killer, one of the most controversial, disrespectful, that name child, one of the most rudest people, the person I'm trying to silence, because they want to silence R. Kelly. Let's silence Killer, okay? Let's cut his voice off, because think about it, and I want everybody to review. Since XTV done came to live programming, whether it's East meet West, whether it's, whatever program we do, he's always an issue. He's always going at somebody's head, whether he's right or wrong. It ain't funny. That's why I recommend y'all check out. And I'm sorry about this long intro, but this is my show. Kiss my natural black. I'm a Christian man. I opened up the show with a Bible verse, so I ain't gonna. But yeah, look at every show that we've done since XTV East and West have come back to programming. He always got an issue with somebody, whether he is right or wrong. It don't matter. It's unnecessary. We got new audiences. We don't know these people's emotions. This is supposed to be a fun community. He want to come in here and break up the monotony with his ignorance and disrespect. And I am not going to have it under my regime. And I'm telling you, XTV East, if we want to move forward from this point on, I'm even looking at you, Bobby Classic. You can sit there and try to act like you don't, have issues or whatever like that. You sometimes you get slick out the mouth. You know what I mean? You do. But right now it ain't on the level of Killers. And that is why I'm paying attention to him. That's why I'm trying to dig in that. Oh, Lord. So, that's the goal. But tonight's special guest worked alongside him. He's had his family life started to crumble. He got into very hard drugs. People thought he was dead, Mary May. Wow, Lord. God is good, though. Yes, he is. But amongst research, he resurfaced back in 2016. And I believe he was on someone's podcast that smokes a lot of herb. And I ain't talking Romy. I'm talking the person that took a break because of the herb. then came back. But he's here to tell his story. We're going to walk in his shoes, his testimony. Yes, Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis Johnson. What's going on, guys? How are you? Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Johnson. How are you doing, sir? Oh, I'm great, man. I'm in great spirits. Honestly, since just being on this new stage in my life, I've really found that positivity just follows me in all aspects. What do you mean by that, sir? Well, I'm not a strong believer in, the higher power, God for that matter, but I am open to, understanding and teachings of it. You know what I mean? Since I've got clean from drugs and, just all these things, I've been open to just any aspect of positivity. And, as soon as I come in here, I hear that Bible verse you read, and, it really struck a chord with me, because sometimes, as human beings, naturally we worry, it's just in us, even though people can say little cliche Hallmark card writings like, oh, don't worry about this, or it's okay, it's not gonna stick when you have like various reasons to worry, and I just been worried. My son fractured his ankle. Oh Lord. He's out there playing soccer or something. He's playing with his friends. Fractures his ankle, I hear all kind of things. He might not be able to walk again, and just a bunch of things, and all I can do is worry, and this is all in the week of, man, just say this, hell. They're all in the week of hell. So, then I come in here and I hear you guys say that, and I'm greatly appreciated, because I was about to worry. Yeah, let me look for another. Let me look for another one, yeah. Because I know what it is to be worried. I know what it is. Let me look. So that's something there, when you care about your child and something happens where they hurt themselves. Yes. Hold on. Okay. It says, therefore, this is Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Yes, Lord. So don't worry about what's going to happen within the future. Everything that's going to happen the next hour, the next second is meant. This was already written. It was already God's will. So if it's already the Lord's will, let it happen, let it live, and you live as it's living, and blessings will be placed upon you for that fitting time frame that's supposed to be for you. You understand? Yes. So I understand the things about your son. I know you're going through it, but at the end of the day, just understand what is, what isn't has not happened yet. So just keep the faith, stay strong, stay encouraged, and continue to chase after positivity, because there's so much negative in this world. Truly is so much negativity in this world. It truly is. You know, that's why when I first came to XTV, or I was on the police force, I was always tackling the children because like that was someone I could reach. I mean, especially the teenagers, young adults. It was easier to reach them because not yet. I mean, sort of they've probably been corrupted, especially in the ghetto areas, the urban areas. I mean, I apologize. You could tell that they've been tampered with. You know what I mean? People have put information in their head and all kind of different things like that. So, excuse me. That's why. That's why you need some water or something. Yeah. Take a break. Okay. Thanks. Oh, no problem. That's why I always went after that. What's the word? Went after the youth. Went after that youth. Because you could talk to them. It's easier to get in their mind. When you're an adult, your mind is made up. And I feel like at that point, life can teach you. You know what I mean? What to do, what not to do. And I always was. That's why most of the awards I won as an officer, when I was an officer, was like youth officer, and I won all kind of different badges like that. And it wasn't even to win the badges. It was really to help these kids, and I helped a lot of children. I really did. I helped them. I mean, I get people to this day, you know what I mean? Like Travis. I mean, even when I was on my downward spiral, which we'll get into on this podcast, people were like, "You're Travis Johnson. I remember, you helped me do this." And, these guys are, excuse me, I'm sorry. Every time. I'm sorry. These guys are freaking, businessmen and people in suits and in high places. And like, I'm downtown Tampa. All right. I'm just completely methed out of my mind. Don't care about myself. One shower won't do. Like a week of a shower would probably help me. I'm just down on my luck. And I'm next to one of those tall, impossible buildings, downtown skyscrapers, and I just see this guy says, Travis Johnson, and I'm thinking it's an FBI informant. Like I said, I'm methed out of my mind, so I'm like, oh my God, it's, I'm going to jail for, they've been spying on me. It's one of the kids that I helped, you know what I mean? And he remembers me. He remembers my talks to him, you know what I mean? It's like, it's because of you I sustained from drugs, it's because of you. Like what's going on? And I'm trying to shape it up like, oh, I'm good, man. And I'm making all kind of lies and excuses up like, oh no, I'm undercover. I'm trying to bust this guy. I gotta look like this. He's like, oh, well, good luck with that. And, it's downtown Tampa, so he's moving fast and, trying to get to wherever he's trying to get to. But during that brief duration, I did know that he was a manager and, of this big building. It's one of those skyscrapers. You guys been downtown Tampa. It's huge, those buildings. And it's just little things like that. I just always been that type of guy to try to, inspire the youth to reach for greater, to demand greater. And yeah. So around what time did you say, I want to become a police officer? Right after college. Much like some people feel about Corey Jones' regime. I got out of college, I was in a program I didn't want to be. I was just trying to make my family proud, my friends, happy and stuff like that. I got out the program, and, even though I it had positive elements to it. It didn't really fulfill my destiny. It wasn't really what I truly wanted to do. So I just, I watched Cops. Yep. I watched it, and, it was this one episode, and no one can find it to date, but it was this one episode where this cop, out of nowhere, this probably was in the early 90s, maybe, or maybe late 80s. It was still the ugly version of reality television. But this police officer, he goes to these guys, this family's house. I think it was children there, and the place was pretty much like unkempt or something like that. And he goes over there, and it looks horrible. It looks bad. And instead of arrest the guy, he says, I'm going to give you guys an hour to clean the house up. He goes back over there within, not an hour, but like probably a longer time to clean it up. And it's a mess. It's fucking, will you watch your mouth? I'm going to pop you, Travis. I apologize. It's a freaking wreck. You know what I mean? It's stuff everywhere. It's garbage. And so he said he gives them like some time to clean up, and he's going to come back. And if he didn't clean up, he's going to get grounded. And so he comes back, and, he cleans it up decent. And a police officer is proud. He's like, oh, thank you, man. You did a decent job. And, the whole time I was going, like, he bought groceries for these people. And you know what I mean? He just bought random groceries. And that's just like such a great, effect that you could have on someone's life. And that's what I thought then. That is so sweet. And I'm sure God blessed that man. I'm sure he did, but it's just that I was proud, and it made me feel some kind of way. And it made me say, man, it made me think of the impact I could have on someone's life by doing a kind act like that, or any kind of kind act, and also to protect people. Like it never was about money to me. When I was doing it, it never was about money to me. It was just always about the youth, and always about, keeping them out of trouble and keeping them safe, because you read these stories, child shot by crazy dad, and, or like the kid didn't really have nobody in his house, so he's only inspired by the violence of his uncles and his mom and stuff like that. And then he becomes, that, and I could be the guy that could show them that there's more to life. You know what I mean? There's more to them instead of what's perceived. And so that inspired me to get into the police force. And I remember I was the early days. I was just about to get into it. It was rough. Yes. I joined the police force in 1995. It was very tough. Like, the guys really, like, people were not friendly. People were not trying to teach you anything. Being a rookie is like, I think I looked this up. Statistically, being a rookie police officer is one of the hardest things to get through. I looked this up years ago, so I don't know if it's changed, but honestly, this is one of the hardest things to do. Because it's not like a, 9 to 5 McDonald's, Burger King job. Like, hi, I'm Travis. It's nothing like that. Like, people, some people at the time, for me, they wanted my head. You know what I mean? They just like, they used to do little things like goof on me and set things up and just all kind of crazy things. I've got written up because of, the officers just doing things that I wasn't doing, you know what I mean? And I think they sent like a letter with my handwriting saying F the sergeant. Oh Lord. And it was my handwriting, like, but I didn't do it. Like, they're tricksters. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, I don't really know how to explain how they did it, but they were able to use like emulation of my handwriting and make it like I wrote it to the sergeant, got written up for it, you know what I mean? Because it's like nobody else would do this, and just little crazy things, you know. And it was just rough, man. You know, I remember being dispatched to some kind of issue, to the wrong address by you know, for no reason. And I'm the only guy out there, and they're like, Travis, you know, you're at the wrong address. And I'm like, but you guys told me this address, you know. And it's just all kind of crazy things. I truly didn't think that I was going to make it. How long was you on the police force? I was on the police force from 1995 to 2006. Yeah. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah. That's how long I was on there. And, you know, my first approach on wanting to be a police officer was good. Like, my first approach, remember I told you I wanted to do this because I wanted to help people out, you know. But in the process of doing that, that got lost somehow. I don't know why. And it just became be friendly with people. You know, I guess it just transitioned to be friendly with everybody. And that's what I tried to do. And that was the wrong approach. You know, I should have just got in there and did what I needed to do. But life sometimes, you know, forces you into the original position you was in. And that's what happened, because I got a call one time, you know, when they weren't like messing with me or pranking me. You know, I got a call, you know, about this youth beating up this old man. And I went over there, you know, drove over there, and I see these kids, and, you know, they're just beating on this guy. They're really pummeling him. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know, and, you know, like, it just came in me to just tell them something. I'm like, you know, what if you guys get this age, and I'm just giving them the business. Like, what if you get to be this age, and, you know, all the good you've done? Because what I understood with the guy they beat up, he was a civil rights leader, you know, and these guys are African American. And I'm like, you know, what if you guys do all this for your community, for whoever, and this is the way you think? That is so wrong. Oh yeah, that is so wrong. And I really made this face at him, like, pale. And I don't know what that means. And I just, like, was really upset with them for doing that. And in the process of all this commotion, you know, a guy hits me from the back, you know, and I'm like it was out of nowhere, you know. And it was I guess one of the leaders or OG of the gang of this youth, these kids, you know. And I lose it. I take them down. I tackle them. I tase them, put him in the back of the police cruiser, you know. He's like, man, you ain't got to do all that to me. And I say, but you're a chump. I arrest him. And, you know, I go in the car, get ready to write the report. And as I'm in the process, one of the kids knock on my door. You know, I'm getting emotional. Oh, it's okay. Get him a tissue, man. Get him. Here you go, baby. Yeah, this is hard. So, I'm writing a police report. And, one of the kids, man, had to be like 10 years old, you know. He goes, excuse me. He goes, look, man, I'm sorry. You know, I never thought of what it would be like to be in his shoes. I'm sorry for being illegal. And he just empties his pockets. And, you know, he hands me the marijuana. Yeah. A lot of weed, cocaine. Gives me all of his guns. And it just seemed like a single file line of all the kids that was once jumping this guy are giving me all their, illegal paraphernalia, and I'm just like, wow, it's like, and they are like, yeah, if you want to arrest me, go ahead, I deserve it. And, that right there reminded me of why I was doing it. And that let me know that I had purpose. I had a point. And it was many occasions like this, you know what I mean, where I would help someone in danger, a youth would be involved, and, I would have a heavy impact on their lives. And that was very important to me, you know what I mean, to get the scumbags off the street and keep them safe so the youth can play, you know what I mean. I remember there was a park, Central Avenue Park. I remember it was like a park for kids, but at this time in 1996, because I wanted to make sure I busted every kind of criminal act from this park, because it was just so, like, nobody liked to go here. Like, it was like one of those parks, even in the daytime, it looks nighttime. It was just one of those places, like, I hate going to this place, but I gotta go to that McDonald's because I'm hungry. So I made it my mission to make that park back right. You know what I mean? Any type of drug activity or anything I seen, I was going to bust it like head on, and it was one drug dealer named Tucho or something like that. It was a really, 90s name. But he was giving the youth drugs. He was an all out bad guy, you know what I mean? Killing people and all this. And, I made it my point to bust him, as soon as I seen him. And I did, and I feel like just going after all the criminal activity that existed gave, I was able to, sorry guys. It's okay. You emotional. You want us to take a break, baby? No, that's okay. Because I know what that's like. I mean, my friend Barbara, I think I talked about her on an older podcast. She said that to me. She said, you never know how you impact people's lives by the smallest of words or gestures. You can inspire so much. You know what I mean? Because, like, all she did was gaze at a little girl, you know what I mean? And this little girl was half blind. She could see, some things, but some things she couldn't see, you know what I mean? But she said that she remembered Barbara looking at her one time, you know what I mean? Like, she's so cute. Just how you look at a child, like, oh my God, you're so precious. And that inspired the half blind little girl to make her own business called, I think, Pretty Eyes Incorporated or something like that, where she give you these, I don't want to say fake, but they like little pupils, like contacts for your eyes, and they just like, they real cute. They got little crystals in them and stuff like that, and it's for blind people to see. And like little things like that, you don't expect it. You really just going on about your day. That just shows you that God made you unique for a reason. You know what I mean? And that's what I like most about my Lord is he made everybody unique and everybody special in their own way. And through that specialty, you can help others in ways that you won't believe. Because all the lady did was just look at the little girl. She's cute, she's pretty. And look what happened. Her own business, Travis Johnson, that's beautiful. Her own business of contacts, helping other people, So that's why I say, and I was like you, stammering, stuttering, because when I think about that, I be at a loss for words too. So I know what you're going through. You take your time, baby. Take your time. Yeah. So, that was just my goal, to inspire the youth, and I was just winning a lot of things, and but back to that park, you know, it became clean, and it's one of the best destinations. And I remember prior to that, 96 or 95, 96, 97, like, this park was just dark, but now if you go over there, it's nothing like I put in words. It's nothing like that. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? And you see a lot of kids, a lot of adults sitting there, people walking their dog in that park. It's no signs that this used to be a high drug area. And I like to think, that myself and the team that I had, that worked together, because I started to talk to people, about my vision. Some people, like I said, it was still a lot of bullies back then, as far as the police officers. But I started to talk to various people, about it. I'm like, come on, man, we can make this right. You know what I mean? Let's do the right thing, and I think I just had, it was during the roll call section of the police officers. And, everybody was just explaining, they were just kind of talking randomly, and I just kind of just blurted out. It's like that time Tony B kind of went off on his teacher. Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's just like, it's only so much I can take. And I'm like, I just start talking, and I'm the rookie, but I had to let it be known. I'm like, look, guys, I know that I'm a rookie. I know that you guys feel like, you guys got a lot of you have a superiority complex. But I'm here to let you guys know that I'm not going anywhere, and I'm actually trying to make a difference. And I tell you, I was about to cry, man. Tears was about to form. But I'm like, listen to me. You know what I mean? I don't care, and I said it in front of the sergeant. This was actually bold of me. I said that, look, if you guys want to throw down, we can throw down in the parking lot, all right? Because you're not going to get rid of me. Only thing that's going to get rid of me is, you want to pound, we can pound. You know what I mean? Cause I'm not afraid to pound. And I just let it be known, though, like, that, because the sergeant was about to calm me down. I'm like, no, you just wait. I just went on this long rant, and I said, we need to start getting these parks right, so kids could walk in the parks and not bully me, not put me in these things that, that's unnecessary. Like, that's distracting the work that should be done in these communities and these housing projects for these kids that can't play at the park no more. And I got a standing ovation. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not asking for your applause. I'm asking for your assistance. You know what I mean? Because I know some of you that are clapping are doing it so I shut up, but I'm not going to shut up until you guys stand up and do what needs to be done. And during that rant, like, they were just like, all the Sarge could do was like, all right, you guys are dismissed, and everybody left. And, I just remember just being so heated. I was sweating. I was drenched in sweat after this passionate, like, I had to let it out, because, like, people were so, I was so frustrated. I was tired of the bullying. I was tired of the fake calls and stuff. It gets old after a while. You know what I mean? I'm here to do my job. Let me do my job. Let me work. And one by one, each person came up to me. They were like, Travis, man, like, I'm sorry I did this. I was a part of this. And they let me know, and I'm like, it's fine. Just leave it in the past. Let's focus on getting these communities back together, because that was my whole point. Let's let the kids play. Let's give room for these kids to play, for these kids to grow. You know what I mean? They're not able to before they even go to school, they're shot dead. Like, I didn't understand that. You know what I mean? So some people helped, and different forces and different people, like, they were able to help and making the community back right. And as I said, that park sits there now, as a reminder of what you can do. You know what I mean? The impact you can make on people, and the help you can do. Like, I really wish I had a before and after picture of what that park looked like and what it looks like now. Like, I got an old picture. It's very 90s and fuzzy. It's very ugly. Like you can't even tell. It's like, what were you trying to take a picture of? We used to have these big, back in the old ages. We used to have these huge cameras and camcorders, and they were so heavy and bulky where if you took a picture, you feel like you're lifting like 100-pound or 500-pound weights. You know what I mean? Trying to take one picture, and so the shot is just all messed up. But I really wish I could really show you a before and after picture of like how this park looked, because now it's so beautiful, and that's just it. So you say you won various badges and awards. Yeah, a lot. And eventually you met your wife. Yeah, you have 2 kids, right? 3 kids. Oh, 3 kids. Yeah. My wife was pregnant when I came to XTV. On our 3rd child. Our first child, Miranda, she was conceived and later born in 97. My son Matthew was born in 99. And my other son was born in 2005. And I remember, when I first met my wife, because she used to be at the Starbucks, that was like in the same vicinity of the police officers, and I used to call her Miss Starbucks. I'm like, Miss Starbucks, I would like a such and such, and she just always had this smile, you know what I mean? She couldn't control it, you know what I mean? Like, every time I would come in there, she would have this smile, and she'd just be stirring my coffee. How you doing? Trying to hide her face. And, I'm like, I'm great. How are you? You're going to stop hiding your face. And I used to just, make her laugh, make her giggle, say something to make her day, and then I used to just go on about my day. And, I used to think about her all the time. And one time I'm just sitting at a table by myself. It's one of those days, a hard day. We didn't catch Tuco. So I'm like, D-word. And so I'm by myself, and she just comes over there and she's like, are you okay? May I sit here with you? And I'm like, shouldn't you be working? I'm dead serious, but she thinks, because like I said, I was always joking, so she thought I was serious. I mean, she thought I was joking. She sits with me, and she's like, I have to just tell you this. I have to just, be a strong woman and, deal with what I have to deal with. But honestly, I've been looking at you for a very long time, and I like you. She just flat out said it. And, it's weird because usually it's the man that, says that, but she approached me, and I said, well, you're correct. And, I learned her name, and, I asked if she wanted to go on a date. I think around this time, the movie Con Air was out, and I asked if she wanted to check that out with me. And like that was our first day. We watched Con Air. That movie was exciting as hell. You know what I mean? And it's like that cliche, like we're like really into the movie, where she finally just it's like one of the quiet points or the chill points of the movie, and she finally rests her head on my chest, and I put my arm around her. You know what I mean? And it was like at that moment where it's like I knew it. I'm like, okay, this is serious, And it was a few things here and there. We would go on walks on the park, and we were just always together, always together. You know what I mean? I would walk her dog and all of that, or walk her around that, park that I was discussing earlier, and it was little things like that. And like we used to have great times together. You know what I mean? Seeing Fleetwood Mac in concert. I know you children are like, what is that? They probably like, what that is, a rock? It's a rock band. You know, and we were a great couple. And like I feel like at this point though, you know, from like 1997 up until like 06, life was incredible. You know, because this is when we were cleaning out the parks, we were cleaning out the negative environments, and we were making them clean and unique. You know, like the drug dealers and the overall bad people that were in the areas, they either moved away or they either, you know, met their demise or are in prison to this day, you know, and don't have the effect that they once had back at that time. And I was starting to see it change, you know, and I was winning awards because of this, you know what I mean? And I was getting a lot more support as far as the cops. Some of those cops, you know, they were dirty, you know what I mean? So they had nothing to lose, and they were phasing out. And this is when, you know, I started to move up the ladder, you know, of sorts. And I became a sergeant. I became a sheriff at one point. But I just I liked being a police officer. Like I was in these positions and I was doing well, you know, but it was just like, I'd rather be a police. I'd rather, you know, be that, you know, I'd rather have that position. And why was that? Well, with all due respect to all sergeants, all sheriffs, all of that, you know, I just feel like, you know, it's more, I feel more active as a police officer. I felt like I was behind the desk a lot. I mean, at least in my position, I felt I was behind the desk a lot. You know what I mean? And I'd rather be out there in the field interacting with the kids, you know. And so that's just how I felt. So you building up in rank as a police officer, yeah, doing good, have your children. 2005 rolls along. You make an appearance on F&K. Yeah. It was one of the top shows in XTV from 05 to, I guess it's closed. I think they was having issues towards the later season. They say after 08, 09, there were issues here and there, and you know, but ultimately it's over. Yeah, but you made an appearance on one of the top shows. All you did was say hello sometimes at the end of this recording. Can you take us back to that? Yeah, it was a chaotic F&K episode, as every episode was, and it was all these different things going on, and basically they called the police officers because there was a fire and there was a fight. You know, it was D-Matic dealing with the best. That's all I'm going to say. And, you know, we wind up getting a call. I go there. You know, I don't know that there's a radio here. I'm just doing my job. I'm making sure everybody's safe and I'm doing the right thing, you know. And I see this kid who's just going in, you know, he's giving these guys the business. He's like, F this, F that, you ain't this, you ain't that, MFer, the greenhouse effect, the greenhouse effect. And I'm like, what is going on with that kid? You know, the raspiness of his voice, and just that, you know, just that, like he's almost about to lose his voice. He's yelling so loud and he's so angry and passionate about what though, you know? And I'm just like, you know, calm down. I say, calm down. Calm down, little kid. Just relax, okay? You don't have to be that angry. Just say hello sometimes. And I was trying to say, introduce yourself. But like the tape just picked up me saying, say hello sometimes. And And like it was more to what I was saying, but that segment right there made a lot of people laugh because it's just like say hello sometimes, and they wanted me back on the show. And how did this feel? Because that's like a totally different way. Like up to this point, you've been on the police force for a good while, from 95 to 05. What was this like? It was surprising, like other people were telling me like, yeah, Travis, you're a hit. And I'm like, I'm a hit. Like, what do you mean? I thought it was some youth group talking about me or some kind of way, but no, they were talking about FNK. You know what I mean? The recording being played over and over again. And I learned what it was and I seen what it represented, and I didn't like it at all because I knew because I thought, again, here we go, letting the youth just speak their minds and say these negative things. I thought those guys was influencing Killer to who the kid I was talking to was, I thought they were influencing him to behave in a manner that was disrespectful, that was ignorant, and I felt like that was doing damage to the community. So I said, I don't care about this show. So I made it my point to make sure that, I put positivity in Killer's head. And like, I seen so much hurt in Killer. Yeah, I seen so much hurt. Like I could see it in his eyes. That this is somebody that was neglected and treated wrong. And as a result, he's acting out, and I've been close to being that type of youth. So let me help him out. Let me lead him to the right direction. I'm not going to be his father, but I am going to help him like a father would. And I took him to, when I was going to church, I took him to church. I took him places, I gave him outfits. I gave him money. I gave him wisdom. I used to tell him things, and he used to have this look on his face like, it was like that park that I was talking about. It was just like, it was really raggedy and, really dirty. And, one of the worst places or worst neighborhoods out. But it changed over time. And I would see that change in his face and his appearance. Sometimes he would dress, real good and stuff. And like it would pick up. But I didn't know he was still on FNK. I didn't know he was still using drugs. I didn't know he was just using me for that money to say like, yeah, I'm good. I didn't know that. I thought I was really making an impact. So that's why in 2006, it took me by surprise that he was on the drugs he was on. Like, it took me by surprise. And this was also on FNK. This was a turning point in FNK. Because this is off of the sing-along tape that they had. I remember they was talking to death about that. Remember that? I remember sing along this, sing along that. Sing along and leave me alone. They was always talking about FNK sing along, FNK sing along. And after a while, I'm like, I don't care. But like, I guess it made a big impact at the time. The tape is no longer in existence, but it was one of the most popular tapes, recordings. So it finally, after that season came a new season of FNK where they weren't doing as successful. And I think this was the first recording of that. No, I think, you guys were the first recording. The Joe Show was the first recording. The Killer Comedy Tour opened the tape up and did bad. I remember that period because Charles Dean, he had a show. He had Call of Duty, and that was a real bad recording. And it just followed a train of just bad recordings afterwards. It was that. Our first Joe Show, it was like the only thing that did decent, but the Killer Comedy Tour, the FNK season, and, the tape that you was on. Yeah, I just, I came upstairs. I see Killer, like, he comes out the door, because if you listen to this recording, he comes out the door, he sees me. I'm like, hey, And I rush upstairs, give him a hug. We used to do this greeting, like this high five hug thing that we used to do. And, I rush upstairs, you know what I mean? Cause I thought, like, it's not like him to just like, run real fast away from me. Like what's wrong with him? And I'm thinking he's joking or something like that. I'm like, what is he doing? What are you up to? And, go in his room, and he knocks down his bag. And even though I was saying heroin, there was so much drugs in that bag. I believe it. There was so much drugs, like, because I get, like, he used to distribute as well, but he used to also use most of those drugs. He used to use all of them, and I was just like, what are you doing? I couldn't believe this, because like this was like a nightmare. This was like a bad dream I was going to have. We was going to talk about it when I wake up. I couldn't believe this. This really felt like one of my kids are on drugs and I didn't know. You know what I mean? And all the measures I took, like really taking time out of my life, out of my day to help this kid. Like, why? Why do you care about this so much when, you have access to everything to make you happy and successful? Why are you choosing something that's going to make you end up on rock bottom? What are you doing? And I couldn't believe this. So later on in the show, just out of anger, I'm just calling him a druggie, and I just get the syringe, not knowing it's heroin in it. I'm not thinking, I'm just angry, and I stick the syringe in my veins. I'm like, this is what the hell you want? Sorry, guys. This is what you want, though. And the feeling that I had at that point was like, oh, this is why he's happy. You know what I'm saying? This is why my talks don't mean anything. This means everything. May I have some more of this? And that started the downward spiral. I lost my wife. I lost my kids to a bet. What? Yeah. Drugs will make you do that. They'll make you do crazy things. I lost my kids to a terrible bet, and I think that was even recorded on F&K. I don't know if it's still here, but like, yeah, it was a horrible bet that I made. You know what I mean? I said, I'll give you my kids, man, for such and such drugs. And I didn't think about what I was saying. I just knew that I wanted to get high. And, it took a while, because come to find out they're in Taiwan, doing some type of child labor trade. Whoa, Lord, Jesus. And, I had to get the officers on that. And, like it was on some Breaking Bad type of thing. Like, like nobody knew that I had anything to do with that. But they're like, good job, Travis. I won. This was one of my last awards I won. You know what I mean? Good job, Travis, for exposing this, bad business in Taiwan, man. Thank you. And they don't know I have something to do with this, partially because I sold my kids for drugs. So being a police officer, you wasn't showing up to work high. People thought that, I just wasn't eating. People would feed me, you know what I mean? People thought I wasn't eating. They thought that, something like maybe Travis is not getting sleep. He doesn't seem like himself, because at this point, this is when all of the officers really like respected me. You know what I mean? They seen the effect that I had on the youth. I was a well-respected officer, but like they didn't know that I was on the drugs. They didn't know about the Taiwan, my kids way out there. They had no clue, but after a while, upon further digging into the case, like the officers were doing, really hard, they started to see like, wait, Travis, these are your kids, and I tried to bounce around it, and some things worked, and it's only so far you can balance BS. It's only so far, before it all crashes down on you. And truth be told, that's what happened. I was balancing all these things, and I was lying. And I remember the day that they just got rid of me. I got called to the office. Like, I walk in there, you know what I mean? And they didn't even tell me to come to the office. Like, it was just complete silence. You couldn't hear anything. I remember, Grandpa Joe, you made the point you couldn't hear a pin drop or a rat squeak. It was silence, and just everybody's looking at me like, how could you? And then one of the guys says, Travis, Sergeant wants you in the office. And, I slowly go in there, looking at everybody's faces. They're disgusted. They're not even looking at me. You hear briefs like, and I finally go in Sarge's office, and he says, Travis, why? And before I even try to make up a lie, he's like, think about it before you dig yourself in a deeper effing hole. And, he pulls up the transaction. He pulls up everything. And, I was kicked out. I was fired. He's like, get out of here. Don't ever bring your methed out face around here ever again, or you'll be arrested on site. You understand me? And he trespassed me from the premises, and that really hurt a lot, to get trespassed from a police station. Yeah, and it just got worse over time, because how did your wife react when you did that with the children? Well, I don't even know if I mentioned it, but we were having marital issues, you know what I mean? Because on I think another FNK episode, this was also recorded, but I was telling her, give me some money. And she was like, I'm not giving you money for anything. I'm tired of it, because I was always asking her for money, to get my fix. I'm like, give me some money. And on this episode, I threw her down, and took the money, and stuff like that started to spring up a few times. And, she's been one of those girls that's been in abusive relationships. So it's only so far she's going to fight before she finally leaves. And she left me, you know what I mean? And, I'm not a dirty cop, but, certain things you can get past, you know what I mean? Like if you're, because like I said, I was always doing things for the youth and stuff. And I had a great reputation at this point. So people didn't even know I was on drugs. People did not know, you know what I mean? But so when I would say things like, oh, my wife just went crazy, I don't know why. I got the kids and my, I got the majority of the kids when we got divorced, and, they kind of gave her little pieces, you know what I mean? But that's just how it is, when you're doing right and stuff. But so little things like that. What did I have to say? What did I say? You all right, Travis? You on meth? I forgot what I was gonna say again. But yeah, so I just thought that, and when she found out though, You know, she got people to jump me. Really? Yeah, she got her brothers to beat me up, you know, and just really just beat the heck out of me, because those are our kids. And, you know, I just reached this point where it was like I didn't care about anything. And, you know, it was like, it was bad. It was really horrible, man. Like, this was like a really bad time in my life. And the drugs, I started to just do whatever I could for them. And, you know, Killer was obviously, you know, a drug dealer. I would go to him all the time because I didn't know any other drug dealers, you know what I mean? You know, he was the only one I really knew. You know, everybody else was like I didn't know him, you know. And sometimes I would try to, you know, find other drug dealers, but they would just do crazy things. Like, I remember one time, you know what I mean, Killer was like, "Stop bothering me, dog. Stop bothering me." You know what I mean? Just go to another drug dealer. Look, dog, it's this dude named Tuco. And I'm like, he got out? Yeah, he got out. Man, go over him, man. Go over him. And I wind up trying to buy from like a whole nother drug dealer. And I go to this house. It's pitch black. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Who the hell you is?" And I'm like, oh, I'm Travis Johnson. He's like, "You better not be 5'0", little cracker." I'm like, "I'm not 5'0". I'm not the fuzz. Not the fuzz. Old ass term you using. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? Probably is the damn police. And a cage immediately comes over me. Oh, what? A cage. You know, I'm in a cage. And, you know, he was like, "You better not be the police. You hear me?" I'm like, "I'm not the police." I'm crying. You know what I mean? He throws this bag of dope to me. "Give me the damn money." I give him the money. The cage is let up. He's like, "You better get your ass out of here." I sprint. You know what I mean? And I get the heck out of there. I don't know what experiment they were going for. I don't know if it was a scare tactic. I don't know what it was. But, dude, I think that is just crazy how you go from trying to protect the youth from, you know, disaster and all that, and you later on become that. Well, honestly, this needed to happen for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is because in order to understand someone, you have to go through what they went through at times. You do, you know, and I think that I had to become that in order to understand it, because I didn't understand how you could do drugs. I didn't understand how you know, people would kill people. I had to become one of those guys that sold my kids, you know what I mean, and really hit rock bottom. I had to become that in order to truly understand that, you know what I mean? And being in that situation, it was horrible. Like, it was terrible, you know what I mean? I had nights I didn't want to wake up, you know, because I didn't have the right money for drugs. So I knew that it was going to take a lot. You know, I might have to beg in parking lots. I might have to beat somebody up. I might have to rob, steal, kill, all of this. And one time I was even arrested by Officer Neal. Oh, really? Yeah, Officer Neal arrested me. You know what I mean? And, you know, it went from something minor to a felony. You know what I mean? And, you know, like I was urinating. You know, he's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to take a leak." Oh, you know, I didn't realize it was him. And he's like, "Look, man, I'm just going to write you a ticket." I'm like, "Come on, man. I don't got no money for a ticket." He's like, "Look, calm down. I'm going to write you a ticket and you're going to be on your way." And, you know, I just, out of anger or hide, you know, I just picked up a glass bottle, broke it. And I I cut him with it. He told me about that. It was you. Yeah, I cut him with a glass bottle, and he needed stitches. It was bad. And, he punched me. I think he got in trouble for that, but he punched me, you know what I mean? Right in the mouth. And but it still was a felony, you know what I mean? I caused injury to an officer, and I think I almost killed him, you know. Um, it was bad, you know, and so yeah, got some time for that. And in 2008, I was supposed to come back in XTV. I was supposed to do GTA 4, but my drug use at the time was so bad. It was so awful where my jumps would be very slow and controlling sucked. So as a result, I wasn't able to be a part of GTA because my movement, my controlling, even how to get into a car sucked. Yeah, a lot sucked about GTA 4, or excuse me, not being able to be a part of GTA 4. Wow. So Travis, what was the moment that finally inspired you to kick drugs for good? In 2011, a documentary was made on my life. People thought I was dead. Oh Lord. There's nothing like being alive and everybody thinks you're dead while you're dying, or shall I say, killing yourself. This was truly hard for me to watch, listening to my wife and my kids cry and talk about me, how people were talking about some of the things I discussed on this podcast. And, just a lot of that really made me say, I'm going to clean it up, and it took a long time, but it was through a combination of going to a psychiatrist, going to a psychologist. I really went through everything. You know what I mean? It was a process. You know how it was a process for me to become a police officer. It was a process for me to get clean. Like it really was. It was like I went through a lot of things. It's kind of like filling out a lot of applications in order to get a job. Like I did so much. I did yoga. I did like all kind of things. You know what I mean? And, I think it was a combination of everything I went through, because I don't feel like naming everything, just the process of everything and trying to get sober. I think what happened is like what I said at the top of the show, like trying to find positivity. And that's truly all I'm chasing after. So in the process of trying to find positivity, the drugs became obsolete. And I was no longer addicted. Like, only thing I'm addicted to is something that's going to have a positive benefit. You know what I mean? And that's just where I am in my life. And as far as my wife and kids, my wife, since we have the kids back, well, my ex-wife, you know what I mean? We're thinking about remarrying. Oh yeah, you gotta invite me when y'all do. Yeah, because we were able to reconnect. My kids too. Like that's why I mentioned at the top of the show, my son, he broke his ankle. And I was really, I was upset about that. But just talking to my wife now and my kids, we have a close bond, and life is really good right now. I gotta be honest, life is very good. I'm a lot more happier than I was, and I'm on the road to recovery and recovering. So XTV is in a new direction. is way different from how it was in '05. What do you think of where XTV is right now? There was a period in XTV where this TV show Crack Rock was out, and a lot of people give it negative reviews, but really it was just the transitional phase. And I think that that's exactly what this is, you know what I mean? Because like that was the transition for it being, the voices being Payne, Dixie, and stuff like that, to it kind of changing to, the Killer, you know what I mean, and Wells. And Killer is still a top guy. He's still a main dude, but like you're starting to see these other guys. You're starting to see Lil Trunks. You're starting to see other people. And I think that, soon these guys are going to have the voice, you know what I mean? And these guys are going to be the main guys in XTV. So I think we're at a very transitional phase. After Miami Beatdown, of course, I'm definitely looking forward to this pay-per-view. I think that they're going to get their shot. They're going to get their chance. You know what I mean? They're going to be able to talk. So how do you feel about Killer now then? I mean, cause we've talked about it a lot. Killer now, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm looking at it from both angles. Like, some people need to understand that, he is an entertainer at the end of the day. And some of his acts, even though, with some of the people he's in there with, it might not be entertaining to them, but it is, in some form or fashion, keeping people engaged, you know what I mean? Keeping people watching, and that's what Killer's good at. He's good at getting people to watch, you know what I mean? By bringing something out of people that wouldn't normally exist. Because with all due respect to Mr. JJ Strong, I mean, and I understand it, you know what I mean? He served 10 years in prison. So I understand, it's like, dude, why are you bringing that up? But at the same time, it's like, that's just what he does. Like, he couldn't have gotten to a feud with JJ Strong by just randomly saying, JJ, you're a no gooder. I'm going to beat you. It can't be storyline. If it's Killer, he has to bring that out of you. And that's what he did with JJ Strong. And I believe JJ will bring something out of Killer. Something brown and something red. Ew. So, where do you see yourself in the future in XTV? Final question. I don't know, man, but I hope to be a part of this new era. I hope to inspire people to not go into the path I was in, and create new memories and a new legacy, because the old one is dead. It's time for NXTV, a new XTV. Wow, well, there you go. I want to thank you, Travis, or thank you for having me, Grandpa Joe. And I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read one more scripture before I end this off. Look. See, look now. Let me lick my fingers and change the page. Here we go, right there. I'm gonna read. Let's see. I'm looking right now. Hey, y'all give me a minute. We on this Songs of Solomon 8:6 say, place me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm, for love is as strong as death, its jealousy unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Many waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. If one were to give all the wealth of one's house for love, it would be utterly gone. And that's how we gonna end off tonight's podcast of the Joe Show. Don't you forget to stop and smell the roses on your way today. See ya.